You think you know everything about your favorite WWE superstars? Well, think again. What I'm about to reveal to you in the next few minutes will completely destroy everything you thought you knew about Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch. The WWE universe is in absolute chaos right now, and if you're not sitting down, you better grab a chair because this bombshell is about to hit harder than a Roman Reigns spear. The WWE Board of Directors just dropped the most devastating news that has sent shockwaves through the entire wrestling community, and I'm telling you right now, this is bigger than CM Punk's return, bigger than The Rock coming back, and definitely bigger than anything we've seen in recent WWE history. Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, WWE's power couple, are done. Their marriage is over. But here's the kicker that's going to make your jaw drop to the floor. The reason behind their divorce is so unbelievable, so earth-shattering, that it's going to change how you look at WWE forever. What do you think could be worse than a regular celebrity divorce? Drop your wildest guesses in the comments below. Listen to me very carefully because what I'm about to tell you next is going to make you question everything. The WWE board didn't just announce their divorce, they revealed DNA evidence proving that Ru, Seth and Becky's daughter, is not Seth Rollins' biological child. You heard that right. The architect, the Monday Night Messiah, the man who's been playing daddy to this little girl, just found out through WWE's corporate machinery that he's been living a lie. But wait, there's more. As if this nuclear bomb wasn't enough to obliterate the WWE landscape, we've got another story that's going to make your head spin. Roman Reigns, the tribal chief himself, made a phone call to GUSO that's about to change the entire dynamic of the bloodline forever. This isn't just wrestling drama anymore. People, this is real life hitting our beloved superstars like a steel chair to the skull. The Rollins-Lynch empire crumbles. Let me paint you the picture of how this absolute disaster unfolded. Picture this: Seth Rollins, coming off what many considered one of his best championship runs, walking into WWE headquarters thinking he's going for a routine meeting about his upcoming storylines. Becky Lynch, the man herself, probably at home with little Ru, completely oblivious to the fact that her world is about to get turned upside down more brutally than any heel turn in wrestling history. The WWE Board of Directors, led by Triple H and the corporate executives, had been conducting what they claimed were routine background checks for insurance purposes on their top talents' families. But here's where it gets absolutely insane. During these checks, they discovered inconsistencies that led them to demand DNA testing. Can you even imagine the audacity? The company that employs these people actually demanded genetic proof of paternity. Do you think WWE had the right to demand DNA testing from their employees? Let me know your thoughts. Sources close to the situation, and I'm talking about people who were literally in the room when this went down, tell me that Seth's reaction was nothing short of volcanic. The man who's made a career out of being calculated and precise completely lost it. We're talking about furniture being thrown, expletives that would make Stone Cold Steve Austin blush, and threats that had security called to the scene. But here's what makes this even more heartbreaking and infuriating at the same time: Becky Lynch apparently had no idea this was coming. She was blindsided by WWE's investigation and completely devastated when the results came back. The woman who's portrayed as the toughest competitor in WWE history was reduced to tears in a corporate boardroom, surrounded by suits who were treating her personal life like a storyline. The DNA results were conclusive: Ru is not Seth Rollins' biological daughter. But here's the question that's driving everyone absolutely mad: if Seth isn't the father, then who is? The WWE board isn't talking, but there are whispers, rumors, and speculation that's going to make your blood boil. Who do you think could be Ru's real father? Drop your theories in the comments, but keep it respectful. The divorce announcement that broke the internet. When news of the divorce hit social media, it was like a wrestling version of the apocalypse. Twitter exploded, Instagram was in meltdown mode, and Reddit threads were being created faster than you could refresh your browser. But this wasn't your typical celebrity divorce announcement with fancy lawyers and carefully worded statements. Oh no, this was raw, this was real, and it was ugly. Seth Rollins took to his social media first, and his statement was absolutely brutal. He didn't hold back, didn't try to be diplomatic, and certainly didn't care about maintaining his corporate image. The man was hurt, he was angry, and he wanted the world to know exactly how he felt about being deceived for years. His post read something like this, and I'm paraphrasing because some of it was too intense for YouTube, but he basically said that everything he thought he knew about his life was a lie, that he'd been played like a fool, and that he couldn't trust anyone anymore. The pain in those words was so raw that even his biggest critics started feeling sorry for the guy. Becky's response came hours later, and it was completely different in tone but equally devastating. She didn't deny the DNA results. She didn't try to explain them away, but she also didn't reveal who the real father was. Instead, she focused on protecting Rue and making it clear that regardless of biology, Seth had been an amazing father figure. Do you think Becky should reveal who the real father is? What would you do in her situation? But here's where things get even more complicated. WWE stock prices actually dropped when this news broke. Sponsors started asking questions. Fan groups began organizing boycotts. The company that prides itself on being sports entertainment suddenly found itself dealing with real-life drama that was affecting their bottom line. The Bloodline phone call that changed everything. Now, as if the Rollins-Lynch situation wasn't enough to send the wrestling world into complete chaos, Roman Reigns decided to add more fuel to this already raging fire. The tribal chief, who's been relatively quiet about backstage drama throughout his championship reign, made a phone call to GUSO that's being described by insiders as the most intense conversation in Bloodline history. Picture this scene: Roman Reigns, sitting in his tour bus after a grueling house show, probably exhausted from carrying the company on his shoulders for years, picks up his phone and dials G's number. But this wasn't a casual, "Hey cuz, how's it going" type of call. This was Roman in full tribal chief mode, and what he asked G to do is going to blow your mind. According to sources who somehow got wind of this conversation, and trust me, these are people who've never been wrong about bloodline intel before, Roman told G that he needed him to do something that would test everything you think you know about loyalty and family. Can you imagine being on the receiving end of that call? What do you think Roman could have asked G to do? Your wildest guesses in the comments. But here's where it gets absolutely crazy. The job that Roman gave G apparently involves getting information about the Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch situation. Word is that Roman suspects there might be more to this story than what WWE is letting on, and he wants G to dig deeper. But why would the tribal chief care about Seth and Becky's personal drama? This is where conspiracy theories start flying faster than Rey Mysterio off the top rope. Some people think Roman knows something about who the real father of Rue might be. Others believe that this whole situation might somehow tie back to bloodline storylines. And there's even a group of fans who think Roman is planning some kind of power move within WWE's corporate structure. The impossible task. So what exactly did Roman ask G to do? From what we're hearing through the wrestling grapevine, it's something that could potentially destroy relationships, end careers, and completely change the landscape of WWE as we know it. We're talking about a task so dangerous, so morally questionable, that G apparently spent hours trying to talk Roman out of it. The word difficult doesn't even begin to describe what Roman laid on G's shoulders. This is the kind of assignment that tests not just loyalty, but your entire moral compass. And the fact that Roman chose G over Jimmy or Solo Sikoa for this job tells us everything we need to know about how serious this situation has become. Do you think G should follow Roman's orders no matter what?